Okay, so make sure you are copying from 3E onto this first chart here. Okay, so everybody take a look at the screen and take a look at your chart. Do they match? So we have time worked in hours, and we filled in those hours, 31, 23, 39, 19. Then we have our total earnings in dollars, 465, 345, 585, and 285. Okay? We're actually going to graph today, so we need to make sure that those numbers are recorded properly so that we graph properly. All right, so let's take a look now at the other questions. Number 2, your aunt wants to buy a car that costs $33,000. Has she earned enough money from all 4 projects to buy the car? Show your work, find your answer, use complete sentences to answer how you found your answer. So, who can walk us through how we would figure this out?
I can.
All right.
So to figure it out, all the earnings that she made on the dollar side and add them all up.
Excellent. So let me start with that. So we're going to add up, and everybody should be doing this right now. Okay? Everybody should be adding these up. So 465 plus 345 plus 585 plus 285. We're going to add all of those up. Did you get an answer, Gabe?
I'm working on it right now.
Perfect. Take your time. Jordan got an answer. Jordan's going to share what he got. Good. 1,680. Let me know if others get that.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Perfect. Okay. So we found that she made $1,680. So now walk me through some more. What does that mean?
It means she's way short.
Exactly. She's way short, right? So she made $1,680. That is way less than $33,000, right? So did she make enough? No.
Yeah, I think so.
Totally not, right? So your aunt did not make enough money to buy the car. So we showed our work and found our answer. It says use a complete sentences to explain how you found your answer. So here's a sentence to answer the question, and now we want to explain that. So we found the sum of her earnings.
How much is the car?
$33,000, it said.
So she's way off.
So we found the sum of her earnings. What does sum mean, everybody?
The total amount.
Right, adding it up. We found the sum of her earnings and determined it was less than, I'm running out of room here, sorry, less than the price of the car. So
she still would need $31,320.
we would subtract, to figure that out. And 31,003 exactly. She's got to work for probably a couple more years. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. Number 3, on which project did she earn the greatest amount? So this is a much easier question, right? We're just looking at our chart. So let's hear from somebody else. What project did she earn the greatest amount? Come on, more people can. Max, I just saw you unmuted. Do you know that one?
Barbara Hamner Corporation.
Exactly. Okay. The greatest amount is, I'll use orange right here, right? We look at the largest amount of money, and that was $585. So she earned the greatest amount when she worked on the Barbara Hannah Co. project. Okay, any questions so far? All right, let's do the next one. When did we earn the least? Let's hear from somebody else. This is an easier type of question. I have confidence in you. When did she earn the least?
Like, what's the least amount of money she earned?
Exactly, yeah. Well, what project was she working on? And I have someone in the classroom who's going to answer. Victoria.
The Alcon project?
Very good. She said the Outcome project because that's the least amount of money. So the Outcome project. So her aunt, she earned the least amount of money when she worked on the Outcome project. So notice these questions are saying on which project. That's why we're giving the name of the project. We're not actually stating how much money she's making. If the question said, what's the least amount of money? Then I would say the least amount of money is $285. But the question is saying, what is the project where she had the least amount of money? Okay, I'm going to pause there for a moment so that everybody can make sure that they have all of those answers written down and copied before we continue on. If you do have all of those answers copied, you can go ahead and try number 5. Okay, but I'm going to leave that there so everybody can copy. Does anyone need more time? Please say yes or chime into the chat if you need more time. Okay, then let's look at number 5. Number 5 says, how much more money did your aunt earn for working on the Barbara Hanna Company project than the USY. So here's Barbara Hanna and USY. Gabe, go ahead. Tell us what's going on here.
So I looked back at the chart and I looked at how on the USY one, she only earned 465, and then on the Barbara Hannah Co one, or yeah, that's what it's called, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she earned 585. So it's just I just added 120 to.
Okay, so let's talk about that. You're on the right track. So I jotted down what he first said. Because we're asking to compare Barbara Hanna and USY, he went to the chart, which is very good, and jotted down how much she made from both of them. And so that's what I wrote there. At the Barbara Hanna, 585, and at USY, 465. Now,
Just subtract it.
Exactly. So if it had said what's the total amount on those two projects, we would have added, but the question is saying how much more did she make on that Barbara Hanna? So good catch.
Yeah, that I put that. I just did it like because it just came to my head like $120 more. So I just wrote 465 plus 120 is like 585.
Gotcha.
So, like,
but
break the difference.
subtracting is exactly what we want to do. Okay, so we're going to subtract 585 minus 465, which gives us the 120. So use a complete sentence. She made $120 more from working on the Barbara Hanna Co project. Does that make sense? Okay. Please make sure you are asking questions if it's not making sense. All right. Pause for one moment. Anyone need longer time before I scroll down? Make sure to just say yes. Okay. So, number 6. Take a look, guys. Look at the intervals. Did we do it right on our homework last night? 2 and 30. Is that what we just came up with earlier today? Yeah, we did. So awesome. Very good. So we are going to fill in this graph. Let's recall what goes on the bottom axis here. What's the label going to be? This is my X. So the info from the first column, which is what? Apples, oranges, what? Time worked.
Hours.
Right. Specifically, first, time worked, and then in parentheses, that's the unit, which is hours. What goes on the vertical axis, up and down?
Dollars earned.
Right. So be specific. Total
earnings and then dollars.
Good. I'm not sure why they made that so skinny, but dollars goes in there. Okay, again, how am I coming up with that, folks? Again, there's 2 spots. Up here in question 1, we always have our X column first and our Y column second. Also, down in number 6, X comes first, Y comes second. And remember, X is going left and right, Y is going up and down. Now, for time worked, we said we're going to count by 2s. So we always start at 0, and now we're going to count by 2s. So everybody go ahead and fill that in. And what are we going to count by going up and down, did we choose? 30, the interval says. So up and down, we start at 0, 30, 60. If you ever need a calculator to determine the numbers, you can absolutely use one. Just keep adding 30. And you can compare with what I am writing to make sure that you're not missing any. So it should bring you all the way up to 600. Okay. Once you have that all labeled, what are we going to go do? Yeah, plot those points, right? So go back to, and I'll make sure to come back down, but you're going to go back to your table, and the first ordered pair that you're going to plot is 31, 465. So go ahead, guys, and plot all 4 points. Okay? Okay. Notice all 4 of your points should what? Make a nice straight line. So then you're going to take your straight edge and connect. Don't just stop it at the last point. Continue it on. Okay? So I'm going to do my best to make that straight, although it's quite challenging for the tablet. You guys be sure to use that straight edge. That was pretty. Okay. Question? One moment. Okay. All right. Once you have that line, and I'll leave mine up there, but remember yours, you're using a straight edge, so yours should be even more accurate. You're going to go ahead and answer the questions at the end. They're saying use your graph for 7, use your graph for 8, use your graph for 9. You are not doing any calculations. You are literally just going to go use the graph. Remember, we go along the x-axis and then up to where the y meets. Okay? There is one trick question here. On number 9, notice it says 5 hours and 15 minutes. What do you need to do for that? you could round up or convert this. How much of an hour is 15 minutes? Think about a clock. A fourth of an hour, exactly. So this is really saying like 5.25 hours. Then go ahead and find your answer though. Okay, that's not the answer, that's just that value you'll use. Okay, then 10 says explain, 11 then asks you to write an expression. Okay, so we are going to work on this last page until lunchtime. When you come back from lunch, you'll finish it up. I'll give you guys a few minutes and then we'll go over the answers. Any questions? Everybody at home okay? I'll put the graph back up for anyone that's looking. All right, go for it. You'll hear the bell. When the bell rings, you can head off to lunch.